house. Michigan in the house. In the
Yes.
house. Shayla in the house. Teaching
Hello.
chefs in the house. Industry in the house. Making movie in the house. Ah. At least we started the meeting off right. Welcome, 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 everybody. And thank y'all so much for joining me. And shout out to my good friend Shayla. Shayla's become a sister over the months and the years. I think
Yeah.
situations have just sort of made it happen. And I'm grateful for you for joining us today on this brief meeting that we had to have because we keep running into industry folks that need to hear what we're about to share. And I told you before we started recording that I want to just send them this video. I don't want to
Yes.
explain anything to anybody. Go watch the video. Go watch the video. Yeah, the one that I did live with Shayla, um, uh, courtesy of Flix Reps, the platform that has classrooms where you could learn. And then, of course, brought to you by Chichi Movies. And Shayla will talk a little bit about her company and her production house and her distribution platform that can give you all you guys are looking for. And when it comes to getting your film made and sold, so from scripting to the sale to actually streaming, you're looking at the person that can make it happen. So we are grateful, our company's grateful to be adding a humble, hardworking, up there person to our team, Shayla. But we can't do it without you guys hearing from her, first of all, who she is and what all the cool stuff that she brings to the table. So Shayla, if you can just take it away, introduce
Yeah.
yourself and tell this amazing people that will watch this video about you and all your awesomeness.
Well, I really appreciate it. Edna, we have been through some things.
Yes, girl. We'll have
oh,
stories for
just for a lifetime. We'll be 95 times. You remember the time when all that fun stuff.
yeah, we just have to say a city, a state, a project title.
All the yeah, that's literally
Oh,
the
I
name of
remember
our
that one.
memoirs. Remember the time when is
Right, right.
but thank you for having me. Hi everyone. My name is Shayla Hudson Riggle. I am a producer, a writer, an actor, and I also work in sales and distribution. And how that all started, believe me, I did not wake up and say, hey, guess what I want to do? It just, I kind of fell into it. I started off touring, doing classical theater for a few years. And I noticed that there was a huge gap when it came to opportunities for actors of color. There really wasn't the classical pieces that were written for us in mind. So I'm a huge history buff. And so what I started to do was put together pieces that had a classical flair for that was meant for actors of color. And surrounding those pieces were points in history that is not in our history books. So I started doing that. I put a piece up in Los Angeles, and then they were like, hey, you need to make this a television show. And I was like, of course, yes, I'll do that, not knowing a thing. So I read somewhere that you put a one pager together, and off to the American film market I went. And so I went to the American film market in Santa Monica. This was in 2014, something like that. And so I was overwhelmed with all the terms and phrases that I was hearing. I never heard of distribution a day in my life at that point. And I was super overwhelmed, sat down in the lobby, and lo and behold, this little old white lady was sitting right next to me. And she had the biggest plate of wings brought to her. And she looked over at me and said, hey, I'm not going to finish this. Do you want some? Anyone that knows me knows that I'm not shy. And you offer me a wing, I'm going to eat one. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I like scooped myself on over and got a plate and started talking to her. And it turns out that she was the vice president of sales and acquisitions for a distribution company. And she had asked if I had a project. I said, yes. She asked me if I had distribution. I told her I have no idea what you're talking about. And she said, you got to know that if you're going to be in this industry. And then she said she felt like I would be good at that job. And so
Okay.
she invited me over. Of course, I brought a friend because I was like, this is Hollywood. So, let me make sure,
Going by ourselves.
make sure I'm solid. Um, so I went over there, and her brother ended up is the owner of the company, and they offered me a job right then and there. And I worked for 4 years. I sat in on sales meetings, distribution meetings. I sat in on um, legal meetings. I was able to sit with their lawyer and just look at how deals are made, look at how agreements are drafted. And I dropped everything cold turkey because I knew that this is something that I had to do. And not only did I have to do it, but I have to now take it back to my own community, because this is how films are made. And this is the information that gatekeepers are keeping from us. So I then told them, I said, hey, my community needs this. And they said, hey, you can use our company to help launch yours. And so I partnered with my partner, Narlia, and we started the Hudson Sterling firm. And the Hudson Sterling firm, what we do is we help independent Black, Indigenous, people of color filmmakers. We help them get their content developed and then sold and or distributed. And so far, we have sold over 6,000 films worldwide so far. I know, right? It's a crazy number to say, but
right.
And then we are now at the $7 million mark when it comes to financing raised. And we have reach in about 80 different countries at this point. And we are officially I think we're the only Black female owned distribution and sales company that's a part of the International Television and Film Alliance. And with that, we just shot our first in-house film that we financed, we wrote, we produced, and we'll be distributing. We shot that in Australia just this past spring. So we're doing some things.
Yay, 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 yay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to ask you a question for when we put the flyer out, we talked about talking to actors because you
Yes.
mentioned that you're an actor when you looked at the things that you've done. How important is it for those people who have that talent to actually utilize it? Because we can be so busy in the industry doing all these things. I know for sure that I am. I know I'm great at acting. I don't do it. I'm busy trying to produce and do all these things. And you spoke to me a little bit about that in the last production, that I could have had a chance to do a role. And I was like, oh, I'm busy running around doing this, doing that. And you're like, well, why didn't you act? Tell me about that, because the Australian project, you sent me the deck and the packet. You acted in it.
Yes,
You
did.
starred in it, and your girl starred in it, and it was good. And I'm like, I can't wait to watch it. So talk to me about how actors can get, because this can also lead into filmmaking. You might be an actor, but you start surrounding yourself around people who actually make films. You guys can make products, get it sold, and all that kind of stuff. Talk to us a little bit about that passion to act, why that can't go away.
Well, honestly, for me, this all started with my passion for acting.
Okay.
Really, my foundation is classical theater. I was classically trained, and I it is so important as an actor, especially if you want to get into film and television opposed to theater. I think when you have theater training, you know how it works in the theater from concept all the way to stage, because you're exposed to just about every facet of that show. Whereas film and television, it's different. You don't ever see the editors. You don't meet the FX people. You know,
Mhm.
you don't meet the art, you don't necessarily have meetings with the art department, you know, so you're, as an actor, you're not necessarily aware of all of the moving parts. And so I think that especially now in this climate, it is super important for you as an actor to understand the business that you're in, because it's great to be talented. It's fantastic to be a fantastic actor. But we're in the day and age to where streaming has completely blown the lid off of opportunities. And I can tell you this, every single opportunity that I have ever received, I got myself. It was not an agent. It was not a
Mm.
manager. Even though I had agents, I had managers, and not to say they didn't, you know, get me things, but the things that have been the most profitable when it comes to longevity, I took the initiative to do myself. So
Wow.
if there is a role
Awesome.
that you want, write the damn role. Write it for yourself. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
that piece that I went to the American film market with, that piece, I have a gaming deal now for that specific piece. And
What?
yes, I have a gaming deal for that piece because I wrote a role in that piece for myself. And now there is a character that has been
It's an
developed.
Xbox. Is it Xbox or is it
Yes.
which one? Can you tell or can you not tell? Don't tell. Don't
No,
tell.
you,
Don't
no, but
tell.
you know, these are, I developed that because I wanted to play a role that had a position, you know, of power, and a position that showed grace and a quiet stillness. I just
Right.
wanted to play that, and so I wrote it. I didn't have a clue. I That is the very first piece that I ever wrote, was that.
Wow.
So I, you know,
Are
so
you
I,
serious? Like, can I say the name?
yeah, Kingdom,
Or no?
yes, yes, you
Kingdom of
can.
Gods is your first?
Yeah, Kingdom of God was my first piece I ever wrote. Yeah,
Girl, that project is a $90 million project.
it is.
That's your first?
That's my first. It's the
Mm.
first one I ever
Some
wrote.
of us
Yeah.
we need to think of higher. We
Yes.
need to come up higher. That's how
Yes.
we met. We met on a $40 million project with Jackie Chan. That was
Yes.
our first meeting, connecting that you brought the project and I brought the funder. And
Mm-hmm.
it fell through, but it was just amazing that you've been up on the higher, gotta come
Yeah.
up higher. But that's awesome.
Yes,
I would have never
ma'am.
thought your first project was Kingdom of God. I thought that was like your 45th. You know,
No.
you've done like 43, 43.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Your
that was
first.
my, that's my first. And you know, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot through, because of that project. And that's
Yeah.
why I always say, I always encourage actors to get in there and write and put up your own stuff. That came about because I went the unconventional route, and even though it was a film, I took the best scenes and put that up on a stage just to see it on its feet. You know, there's
Okay. And you were and you and something about Viola Davis saw this piece.
we're not gonna talk about her right now,
We
but
ain't gonna talk about her, but you
no.
know, some people are watching. They're watching you. They're watching what you're doing and how you do it, and whether or
Yes,
not you like it, it inspires them.
yes, yes, and yeah, you, and I appreciate that. It will. I think that yeah, you never know who is watching, and you never know how you inspire someone else to, you know, crack the code for themselves, you know.
Right.
And I think that that's really the that's really what this is all about, is, you know, cracking the code for each other, and you know,
Right.
moving each other forward. So yeah, I say all that to say that, yeah, I think it is imperative that you stay rooted in your love and passion for acting. It's only going to inform your writing, and your writing is only going to inform you as a producer, and your producer hat is only going to inform the sales process, which you know, that's a whole other process
Another.
people need
So
to.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about. So now we've talked to actors. Actors, you got it. Get into it, right? Let's talk to filmmakers who want to stream, sell their product, package it from scripting to finish. When they come to you, to someone like you or to my company, what are some of the do not do, and what are some of the if you don't have this, don't come, and what are some of those please don't call me if you don't have this stuff ready, please just let it come from you, because if I say it, they'll be like, there go Chichi again. But if you say it, you've you've sold 6,000 films.
Yeah.
If you say it, you've sold two. You have stuff on Netflix, Tubi, Amazon. You got stuff on all the networks in 80 countries. Please tell them how they should be coming correctly or not coming at all. If you know, the do's and don'ts, please.
Definitely. So I would say packaging is a big deal. And what I mean by packaging, I mean having a solid line item budget for your project, having a now there's a pitch deck and then there's an investor deck. Some people, depending on who you are going to be pitching in front of, would determine whether you're going to have a pitch deck or an investor deck. I always think it's best to have both, because the pitch deck, that is just, that's all, think of it as pure emotion. Pure emotion. Right. You are selling people on the vision. You're selling people on the dream. You're selling people, you're taking people into your world. The investor deck, that's where the numbers come in. So yes, that's where you're going to have a bit of your like sales projection. That's where you're going to have your return, your points, your back end, or your, or your adjusted gross numbers that you're going to have within your investment deck. So again, there is a line item budget, there is a pitch deck, there is an investor deck, there is a sales projection, and then there's also a business plan. Most people do not think to have a business plan for your project. Well, it's called show business. Together. Not show, it's show business. So you start to think of your project as a business.
Right.
And when you think of your project as a business, then you're able to put together a solid plan that has, has your marketing, it has your distribution plan and all those other things built within the business plan. And then the other thing you would want to have, which we would provide, is you want to have either a distribution company that is either giving you a letter of intent, or you want a solid agreement from a distribution company saying, hey, yeah, right, we are going to represent this film, domestic and international rights for this film. So, and it's okay if you come to us and you don't have that. I mean, that's what we're here for. Right. And then the other thing too is you want to have letters of intent from, key producers, a director, an actor. Those things matter. Now, it's okay, if you come with all of those things, all of the pieces, and you don't have an LOI from distribution or from an actor or a director. That packaging is going to help you acquire those two things. So when you come to us, don't come to us saying, hey, I got this idea, I got this script. Amazing. So do you and a million other people. It's hysterical because I mean, I feel like actors at the heart, sometimes we could be a bit narcissistic in thinking that our stuff is the most amazing thing on the planet. And there's nothing
Yes,
like
if you hear my
ours.
story, girl.
Right? I got a story like no one else. Like, no, 9 times out of 10, trust me, there's billions of people in this world. And trust me, there's someone that kind of has a story that's reminiscent of what you're putting out there. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what don't come to us with, hey, I got a script, or hey, I got an idea. You come to us and you say, hey, I do have a script and it's written. And what I want is I would like for it to either be a television series or a film. And then from there you say, okay, great. How much is it to put together a package? And then we let you know how much that is.
How much it is.
To put
so it's not free.
It is not. It is not. That's the equivalent of taking your car to a mechanic and asking them to fix your car for free.
For free. Yeah.
There's a real skill.
You're gonna be walking for a minute. You ain't gonna be able to take the bus either.
Right.
Wait, so it's
You go
not
to
free.
school
If
for
I
that.
finish making the film and I want to sell it and I want to bring the film to you because you have access to Tubi, Netflix, and all these people, it's not free either.
Well, here's the thing. If you already shot the film, it's already done, it's in the can, that's a completely different story.
But I still got paid though, because you got work to do, right? Or is it free?
So depending on the content, depending on if we if we like it, usually we'll take if it's just us and you're just going through our platform on Tubi, which is called Genre TV, then that is where we are the actual distribution company. And as an actual distribution company, because our company is disseminating it to the masses through our channel, that is 30% on the back end. Now, if you come to us and you say, hey, I have a piece of content and we actually like it, and we believe that, hey, we could do international distribution for that. Now, if you want us to take it to
Netflix
or even our clients,
our
international clients, even if you want us to go to a film market, there is cost attached, to that.
You ain't traveling for free. You ain't traveling your flight.
That's so much. That's a lot of work, and typically we take less on the back end if that's the route that you want to go.
If you're paying upfront for things like that, you take on the back end. So their back end fees, their upfront fees, their fees.
Yes.
To do the services, because it's a service-based job.
Correct.
You also have to compile a list of all the actors, actresses, music, all sorts of things that are in the film to go back and forth between the buyer who is interested in buying, if it's not you directly, and the owner of the film. There's a lot of transaction that happens between you guys to make sure that when the film gets to Netflix doesn't say reject, I didn't get the fourth guy in scene 20.
Those are called deliverables.
Yeah, well, undeliverable, you don't have those. So you need to do those things in order to deliver a product to a third party. And it costs money for the time.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing that a lot of actors or filmmakers don't realize. After you make a film, you need to make sure that your film goes through QC or quality control. So, there's a lot that goes into that. Now some of these are distribution our sales partners, they'll give you it's about sometimes about this thick of sheets. It's literally a deliverable package of all the things that you need to have done on your film. Now, and this is the thing that people don't know either, a lot of independent artists don't know, is if you go through a studio, that deliverable is it's literally it's
that big. They charge sometimes $25,000. One of my films that went to Amazon, they put that their fee was $25,000, meaning that when you start selling and making money, until they receive their $25,000, you don't begin to make any money. They have to get all that money back. They included marketing in it. So that means they will market and drive traffic, but they did included paperwork and all of that. I didn't know you back then, but that's how much they
Yeah,
charge.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Holy
But
cow.
that's the prices out there. That
Woo!
was at least 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah. See, and I think people now that streaming is more accessible, I think
Right.
people are starting. I mean, because I've heard people charge like, someone's, and this is so sad. This was somebody who, of course, it was, it's an interesting experience, wanting to do right by people and being African American female, and then you're competing with these dodgy white guys who are legit asking people for $10,000 up front. They are asking people for that. And people like Bumps on Logs are handing that cash over to these people with no guarantee that, and people still have never seen, they can't get a hold of them, all of these things. And it's just like,
what?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we had a major network. I had to challenge them on our film, and it's a big name. I can say their name. I'm not afraid of it. But, they had our film. They still have it. And my executive producer never made a dime.
See.
So, and she paid, or she was supposed to. So you've got to understand the industry you're in, because when I started, I remember just thinking, oh, I'm going to make it and make it. I sold DVDs, then everything went to streaming, then DVDs are obsolete, then now you're streaming, but still figuring out, then finding out that you can actually sell your film before you ever make it.
Yes.
So knowing that if you had your team together, the right team, if you had the right sales agent on the team, like you, and you had the right people that were working on certain pieces in the film, the right people that were scripting, the right people that were doing your casting, and looking at what your casting's worth. The last thing you want to do is to hire an actor who's going to be on front of the cover page tomorrow, doing something that is like, oh, well, your film's not going to sell. And so many other things that could happen. Just being able to work with the right team to get your product from script to finish is so key to not losing money in the industry. Because a lot of people, oh, I don't want to spend money. Let me see you do work after. I've got a couple of meetings coming up, and this is how you know people are legit, like you. And I met you. They don't charge anything, but when they get to work, you automatically are asking them, what do I need to give you? Because out of respect and understanding the industry, you're saying to yourself, this is what's going to cost this person's time to actually step out of their way to go do something. And I've referred a couple of clients recently to you. Girl, you know me. I make them pay. Oh, you ain't talking to Shayla till you pay. Oh, you don't want to pay? Okay, don't come over here. Because it's respect for your time and the work that gets to be putting and the knowledge. That's why I wanted to put this video together. So there's no excuse when I send this to people. I tell them, take your time, watch and listen to how it works. We're not giving you everything, but we're letting you know while we're putting the teams together, your company and my company, we're doing contracts. So guys, Chichi Movies has in-house. We're able to help you sell your film. It is not free. Please do not ask me if it's free, because nothing is free.
So much work.
It's not free. Please. I have to change my accent to get your attention. I'm just kidding. It's not free. I'm not kidding about that part. But yeah, it is. There is a cost to the work we do. We work very hard. And a lot of us, the education part is probably the most valuable part, because what I heard from Shayla tonight is she went to school, she studied her craft that she loves so much. And yet the education she learned from working and living in LA, and then opening up a company to cater to a certain culture and a certain people and women who are underserved in Hollywood. You should look at the percentage of women directors. We don't even rank close to men. Our projects are not made or taken as serious. So we are fighting for multiple things as people. When you come to us, take in mind that we're trying to build an industry that lasts for you guys who want to tell your story. We are here to film it, but we also have some reservations. There are things we're not going to do. We have integrity, and there are things that we're not going to tell you. Yeah, your film's going to sell. No, babes, you've got to do the work for it to sell. I had a client that came to me. Their title was just terrible. It was not going to sell on any market. So the first thing I started was, what a horrible title. Please, let's throw it out the window. Let's get a proper title. And I'm telling you, the proper title they have today is making waves right now. And it makes a difference when you have a good producer who can put the right team together to get your product potentially presentable when you finished and done all the work that you're going to put in. So one of the final questions I'm going to ask before I leave, and this one, I believe when I created the flyer, when we created it, we talked about actors, filmmakers, and sales in general. So my question to you, looking at the market, what is selling right now? And I always ask you this. The first time we ever did an interview on the late night show with Chichi Styles, I asked you, I think it was during COVID-19, George Floyd issue. And I was like, what's selling? And you said action. What should people be making? Listen, y'all that are going to watch this video. I know you want to talk about your grandmama's pie. I know you want to talk about your, that thing that happened to you. But baby, if it's not going to sell, stop it. Let sales agent tell us what is selling and what do the audience like to see, and talk about seasons, like Halloween, they have their season, Christmas, they have their season. So let's get into sales. What should people who want to sell products as films begin to think of making for at least 2023?
Well, I would say that it really does depend on who you're selling to.
Okay.
I would say that, like, for instance, the script that we shot in Australia, we wrote that script from a sales perspective.
Okay.
And I would say you got to ask yourself a couple questions when you're writing the script. You want to ask, who am I talking to? What problem am I solving with this film? How do I plan to solve it? And what makes this film the solution? So when you, and that's, again, I go back to having a business mindset when you approach the industry, because it's called entertainment business. So when you approach script writing, but still obviously staying true to your creativity, staying true to who you are as an artist, the things that you want to say, you can say whatever you want to say, but there's always a way to say it. And here's the thing, you don't have to sell to the whole world. You really don't. Just know exactly who you are selling to, know your market, and then write for them. Look, I hate to use this example, but it's the truth. I don't necessarily, it's not my cup of tea, but Tyler Perry is a great example. Is his stuff stellar? Absolutely not. Is his stuff like that? I go on BET and that's some of the worst stuff I've seen in a long time. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion. But here's the thing. He knew who he was speaking to.
And selling to those people.
Yes, he knew exactly who he was speaking to. He knew his audience. He knew that there was no content whatsoever for that audience. That audience was starved for content.
Yes.
So starved that they were willing to eat what he sold. And it's not amazing. But it was amazing for his specific audience. He saw the problem, he filled the problem, he solved the problem. And so, but still keeping within his own creative mind, within his own creative paradigm, he stuck to that. So I would I say that's what's gonna sell.
Yeah.
Understanding who you're selling to, why, the problem that you're feeling, and how you're gonna solve that problem. And you can sell. I can tell you there is a piece on, I'm not gonna say the title, but there is a piece right now on Tubi that me and my partner we are stunned at how much money this piece of content alone has made. I cannot even begin. These guys are they've got to be breaking into like the 300,000s at this point. And they only
spent like made the film with how much?
Like $30,000, if that.
What's the genre?
It is classified as like an urban, they call it an urban action drama, like suspense. It is probably one of it's not well made, it's not well written, but they knew their market.
And they knew you were there. It's like selling products on Amazon. You know your market, you sell to them, you buy your email list, you pitch to them, you make your sales.
Boom.
It's not rocket. It's trying to sell everybody that becomes a headache.
Right, because you're not
like you.
Yeah, you're not gonna sell an urban drama to a 65-year-old like white woman who voted for Trump. You're not going to sell that person on an urban drama.
Right.
She's not going to watch Friday After Next and cracking up.
Right.
You know, she's not watching Menace to Society and
you can't get jiggy with it.
You know?
Right. That's true, though. That's true. That's what a lot of us artists think that we need to, is everybody on Facebook that must like me. It's everybody. You have a niche. I have a friend who just released a Yoruba film, which is a Nigerian language-based film. And I remember telling her, send it to me. I'll send it to my friend Shayla. And then I thought about it and I was like, maybe you should send it to a market that has a channel that has Yoruba content and viewers only. You'll make your money. Because if you give it to me, and if it's English subtitled, you might have some difficulty finding people that tune in and care to watch it, unless you're marketing well. But yeah, she ended up going to this Yoruba channel. I guess they just took it, but it's gonna be a bunch of Yoruba people who understand the language and it's for that market.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
just focus. Do the research. First of all, identify what it is that you want to write. And then once you identify what it is that you want to write, then you start to get to work on your target market, because that is going to inform how you write.
Yep.
Because here's the thing, there's countries out there that will not take a film with cursing in it. So there's countries out there that will not take a film that's sexually explicit, but we'll take all the cursing in the world. and there's other countries out there that will not take things that have demons and spirits and things like that in it. So, like I said, really get to work on doing your research on the specific countries, on the specific cultures and things like that you want to sell to, because that is going to inform your writing, and then that will inform your production process.
Dope. Okay, we talked to all you actors and actresses. We talked to you filmmakers who are the ones putting it together, so more like producers. And then we talked to you folks that want to sell. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We are getting off now, but I will be sending this video to as many people who I know want to create content. Some of you want to create it and you just have enough to just create it, but also think about making money back. So in other words, before you fully go into making a project, who is my target market? Who am I going to say? Think about the sales part before you film it. And if you look at all the 3 topics we talked about, actors, filmmakers, and sales, it all ties in. Because if you're not looking at your actors and their characters and who they are and who they cater to, you won't write well for them and it won't sell well. So it'll affect your filmmaking process. But if you write for the right audience and you have the right actors in there or names that sell to those audience, people like them, then you've met some of the basic winning strategies that you need to have to help you make a great project. So even if you're making this on your own without the help of some experts like Shayla, and maybe or me, think about the fact that you could use this video and share it with as many people who want to understand how to get themselves some basic help in getting your actors together, having the right cast and crew, or if you're an actor yourself, getting yourself together. Secondly, getting your film, business. It's a business, y'all. Getting your film business together. And finally, and most importantly, making sure that you have a sales plan so that you can monetize and recoup the funds that you've put out into your project. Thank you so much, Shayla, for taking out the time to join me on this wonderful Monday night. We're starting your week off, so I'm going to share this video to as many people you can. You guys subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us. And please, if you want to work with Shayla, you get $1,000 off.
Yes.
If you work with her through our company. If you go on your own, you're going to pay full price. Don't ask me what the price is. But if you come through me, you call Che, you know I got you. You can get $1,000 off. Now, this is public, so you will know I said it. $1,000 off the package that we have with her, that'll help you get your project sold. She'll be, what I've done so far is I've been bringing her on through the process at the beginning so she can help me. So I run the sales by her. I run the actor sheet by her. I run things by her so that when it comes to the sales, it's not like the salesperson is looking at you like, well, I didn't know you had that actor. That actor's not going to sell in Australia. That actor's not going to sell in London. This person sells here. Why did you get that person? There are things you should know now at the beginning of the film. You don't want to know later. You're asking, oh my God, why didn't I do this? Have a team that can do it all from you from beginning to the end. And that's what we offer at chichimovies.com. And if you need classes where you can get some solid teachers to teach you and mentor you in the industry, please check out www.flixreps.com. We help represent you on the festival platform to help you get your project sold if it's finished. We also offer the master classes, and we're an international film festival. So please, anywhere in the world, enter to be a part of it, and you probably see us again. And one final thing, we are planning a film trip to Africa, y'all, but in a couple of weeks we'll be live talking to folks in Zambia and here in the US about filmmaking. Yes. And filmmaking on an international platform. So Shayla will be there. So if you have questions, prepare them to ask Shayla, because we will be live and you'll be able to ask those questions and we'll be able to help answer those. So Shayla, do you have any final words for folks out there?
Yeah, I guess I would just say to, never ever give up on your passion, hone in on your purpose,
right.
And get after it. And, I would say too, that, the packaging that, Chi-Chi's talking about, we just secured $1 million for, a filmmaker. We shoot in January in Columbus, Georgia. We got Wendy Raquel Robinson, who is she's a producer and a lead on the project. And so and that we put that package together, and we sent that out, and we got that commitment for $1 million for that project. So the packaging that Chi-Chi is referring to is extremely important if you want to have creative control and produce things on your own. So I look forward to hearing from some of you. And
yes, thank y'all so much for watching. And if you remember that if you take a FlixReps course or you're a member, you are welcome to work on any projects that we are available to cast you for, whether on a production or, like if you are working under Shayla and she's mentoring you, she gets to bring you on projects, bring you along projects, and you get to work projects. You might assist her, you might do PA, but you get to be on set. I have a couple of FlixReps members who are been on set with me all year, and they took courses last year. They're learning how to act, and they're acting. And so if you want to learn how to produce, you want to learn how to act, you want to get how to write, all of that is on the website. If there's something that's not there, we know someone who can help you. We really want you to get the knowledge, because the knowledge is the power. And then you could be charging like us. You could be like, oh, no, 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 free, no free. We don't do free. No, no, we don't do. And it's not about that. It's not about the money. It's about the time we put in. This free time we're putting here to put this video together, it's a lot of time out of our schedule, but we know the importance of, I want to be sending this video to folks so I don't have to keep repeating myself on the contacts I have, the relationships I have. I'm bringing one of them here, and this is probably one of the highest ones that I have, the top rated ones. I don't play with her. I don't bring her out. Shoot a few weeks ago, she was like, I could come. I said, oh no, they're not paying you this. I'm not, I'm not playing with my contacts. I respect the how hard they've worked to get to where they're at, and I want to offer their services to you. So become a student, someone that can mentor under someone like Shayla. And if you are a student working with her, you actually have a direct contact. We provide the school and the platform and all that in the app, but you'll be direct to her. You'll have a phone number. You'll have classes with her. You'll learn so much more that you need to learn, and she's willing to share. But we just need you to put your money where your mouth is. So thank you so much for watching again. I hope you enjoyed the workshop we had today, the free webinar, and see you guys in a couple of weeks for this Zambia event that's going to talk about film and also give you guys an opportunity to go to Africa and film with us next year. See you. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.